India government wants to reform GST. What is the rationale? They are telling they want to further simplify the GST system. But just remember, what was the state of the multiplicity of tax rates in India before GST? Hundreds of rates. Now that have been simplified into 4 rates. Now let that stabilize. You don't give time for stabilization of the system, but you want to keep on reforming it. But the real danger lies that the GST rates become more and more revenue non-neutral. When GST was designed, it was held that average rate of GST would be something little more than 50%, which was considered to be a rate which would ensure minimum the same revenue as was being collected before GST was introduced. But then all of a sudden, on the eve of 2019 election, Government of India initiated a process by which 28% bracket, most of the commodities moved to 18-12%, so that effective rate of GST today is only 11%. Is much less than neutral, revenue neutral, and therefore you have a situation where GST, which was promised to go at minimum 14%. In fact, the promise of central government was if it doesn't grow by 14%, whatever the deficit, that would be made good by through a compensation system. But now actual growth rate of GST revenue since the GST was introduced is only 11.8%, much below the 14% promised. Now the present simplification program, which is effectively going to eradicate 28% bracket and reduce the luxury goods taxes further, is going to reduce the rate of growth, restrict the rate of growth of revenue, which will be a blow for the state revenues, state budgets. And therefore, the state should unitedly demand, all right, if you want to reduce the rates, do that, but state should be compensated. They should be ensured that at least 14% the revenues will grow. Tariffs are going to reduce the GDP growth rate at least by 0.5% the current year itself. It will adversely affect India's economy. US is India's most important trading partner, and therefore a 50% tariff will make India uncompetitive, because other countries' tariff rates are much lower than that of India. So this is what Trump is doing. His objective is to force India to throw open its agriculture sector, dairy sector. So India is between the devil and the deep sea. There's no choice between the two. Either that we cannot go up and throw upon our agriculture sector, nor can we give up our exports, particularly electronic goods, IT software services, and so on to USA. Luckily for us, our IT services does not attract 50% tax, so nor do the pharmaceuticals. That's a saving grace. Trump has threatened if the talks with Putin fails, so that India would be the one who is going to be penalized. So he's trying to force India to put pressure on Putin to compromise to Trump. Well, that is politics, international diplomacy, and that's going on. And Modi is proving himself to be inadequate to deal with such pressures. His entire foreign policy has fallen through. Unfortunately, Kerala is going to be one of the worst victims of this. Asian free trade treaty, destroyed Kerala's say rubber and coconuts, which are the accounts for nearly 80% of the crops in India, which were totally dependent upon a protected domestic market. The free trade treaty threw open and therefore collapse of these two crops. Now the crops which were dependent upon exports, like tea, coffee, spices, cashew, marine products, and so on, they continue to grow. But now Trump tariffs are going to give a death blow to these industries also. This would mean a collapse of the primary sector in Kerala.